Afternoon guys, welcome back to another episode of Aston Dave. I am Aston Dave, and this week we have got Manchester City. Right, so first things first, brilliant result of the weekend against Brighton, last minute winner against them as well. It kind of sums up the fact that we needed that luck. I think Matt Targett deserved that really. I think he's had a brilliant few games. He's definitely been what we need in a fullback position. But I think going forward, we can't really rely on the last sort of ditch minutes to be beating teams with 10 men. I think we need to be sort of making a way forward, more aggressively when they've got 10 men. We need to be on them. Bang, bang, bang. I don't think we should be letting up. But nevertheless, we won. We got 3 points and another brilliant display from our captain, Jack. So, this week we have got what they call the mighty Man City. But are they really mighty, or are they just mightily boring when you watch them? As it is just pass, 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 pass. The opposition are like, fuck my life, man. This is so boring. In goal. So, is that the way they're playing? Is that the way Pep Guardiola's getting to play? He's trying to get them to play like European teams. You find it a lot in La Liga, a lot of pass, a lot of flair football. You're starting to get a little bit more of that in Bundesliga and Serie A. But do we need it in the Premier League? Probably not. They've been champions so many times since they've had them multi-gajillion pound takeover from the Sheikhs. I think it's time now we put an end to their reign of power. I think personally we have got a good chance a weekend. To say I'm optimistic for a win, we're going to go to the Etihad. Every time we've gone to the Etihad, we've been whooped. So, can we put an end to that whoopage? Can we maybe take the game to them? Can we make them play our game rather than us playing their game? What can we do? What's the main points we need to be looking for? Ideally, we need to put a shutdown on Raheem Sterling. We need to make sure De Bruyne can't get the ball in the middle of the park, and we need to make sure Jesus just isn't in the box. So it's going to be a tough weekend, and these three players, ironically, are going to be my free to watch. Sorry, three, not two, three. So first one is Raheem Sterling, and the second one is going to be Kevin De Bruyne, and the third one is going to be Jesus. I think personally these three players are going to be fundamental to Man City's progression through the league. I think the fact that Jesus has got into the team over Aguero at the minute is kind of compliment to him really, because he's battled his way, in a tough position. I think it's not going to be easy the weekend. I think Mingzi and Engel is going to have their work cut out for them. I think Gilbert is going to have a tough game, trying to keep Raheem, in check. Nevertheless, I think Target's going to have an interesting game as well. It depends if Raheem plays on the right or the left. So either way, it's going to be a very, very odd game. I think it's going to be one that's going to be quite open for most of it. I think Man City are going to be pushing and pushing because they know we're quite susceptible for losing against 10 men. So they might just only field 10 men just for a laugh. But then Pep Guardiola doesn't really have a sense of humour. So maybe, who knows. But on the flip side of that, I think we need to keep the confidence high. I think we need to make sure that we're feeding the ball into Grealish and McGinn in the centre of the park. I think as soon as we start playing wide, we're going to leave ourselves completely open in the gaps in the middle, and that's where they're going to sort of penetrate as such. So if we can maybe sort of feed the ball through Grealish, McGinn, I really hope Hourihan's playing. So I think he's had a brilliant last few games. I've always rated Hourihan. A lot of people haven't, but I have. Deal with it. Personally, I think Wes is going to have an interesting game. He needs to be on that last man. He needs to be on the centre-backs. He needs to make sure he's causing problems. Even this game, I wouldn't be too shocked or surprised if he doesn't get a goal. As long as he's in there making a nuisance of himself for the back line, then that is the main thing. We need to upset City. We need to make sure they're not going to run away with the game. I've said to a couple of people through the week, I'm not looking for a win. I'd be happy with a draw at the Etihad. I know that's quite a negative and a defeatist way of looking at this, but we've got to look at this realistically. We're going to the Etihad to play the champions, who have got a shit hot team. And nevertheless, we have got a good team. Don't get me wrong, I've got all the faith in the Claret and Blue boys as much as anybody else has. But the realistic side of me is thinking I'm going to go for a 2-1 Man City win. I don't want to say this. I'd be happy with a 1-1. But this is why we have these comments below. This is why we have opinions. This is why we make these videos. I say we, me. But as other people that does it anyway. So what I'd like to get is the opinion of Man City fans. So if any of you guys know any Man City fans out there, can you pass this video on to them and let them have a listen and see what I'm saying is anything like they're saying, or anything they've come across, or who they think we should be looking out for that I haven't mentioned. I personally think that Sterling, De Bruyne and Jesus are going to be the three to look out for. I think the villain of the game is going to be an interesting one. I want to say Captain Jack, but I don't think he's going to have as much success in the middle of the park this week as what he has done, even though I think we should be playing through through the middle, sort of like a bit like an hourglass sort of thing, like through the middle and out to the wings towards the 18-yard box to get in. So I think their weakness is sort of coming across the box. So hopefully that's where Wezza can sort of work his magic. But I think John McGinn, this week again is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I've gone with McGinn quite a lot this season because the guy is fantastic. He's phenomenal, and I'm so glad he plays for Villa. There's been loads of news recently about triple bids and shit for like our players from Man United, even though they haven't got a pot to piss in. Who wants to go to a struggling Man United side? Who really wants to do that? Because I certainly wouldn't if I was a player. But then again, you know, if the Reddies were there, then would you sit on the bench week in, week out for 250 grand? Or would you want to be playing regular football for 40 grand? I know what I'd do. I'd want to be playing regular football for 40 grand. Oh God, that hurts so much to say that. But if it was a choice, I think players should just stay where they are. But at the same time, I think the politics of football now and how football is going is very weird. It's very odd. It's changing all the time. So I think VAR has got a huge part to play in this. I think you're going to find a huge change in dynamics of football coming up. This weekend, I think VAR is going to have a huge impact in the game. Hopefully, it will disallow a few of the Man City goals for shoelaces being offside, because that's how petty it's getting. But apart from that, let me know what you think below. Who do you think we should be watching out for? Who do you think the villain of the game is going to be? And what do you think the score is going to be? I've given you my score prediction. I actually gave you two predictions. The one that I think is going to happen and the one that I want to happen. But obviously the dream side of me says like 2-1 Villa. But I don't think that's going to happen. This is the realistic side of me. But then football is a funny game. We didn't think Norwich was going to beat Man City, but they did. But other than that, who do you think we should be looking out for? Who is the villain of the game, do you think should be? And who do you think the Man City players are that we should be looking out for? Drop a comment below. If you haven't subscribed already or hit notifications button, please do so. I try and get these out as best I can. You can go onto my Facebook page, which is the AVFC Opposition Watch. There are a few members on there already, so it is all about trial and error. We're trying to make it bigger and better. Other than that, pass this on to Man City fans. If there's any way you can get it to Man City people, then go for it. I will do my best my side as well. Other than that, peace, up the Villa.